You are listening to You've Got 5 Options show,
where every week Marta and Anna abandon their 5 children, 2 partners and 1 cat to make a show especially for you.
An artist, a challenge, a bullshit, a wisdom, and a surprise. Tune in and feel the magic of 5.
That's really, really powerful to be able to do something like that. Okay, so that was the process that I have prepared. Now that you know what it is that I have prepared, I'm very curious about your comments.
So the last one was to set the clear boundaries, yes?
The last one was to resolve the conflict internally or with the person. And when you are doing this, one of the things, of course, you know, now I'm speeding through the process. One of the things could be setting the boundaries, yes.
Dennis, back to you.
My first thought is it all sounds really good. It all sounds really nice in a one-to-one situation, but it's in a workplace. So let's assume there are 20 colleagues. Is it really going to stop that one person goes through this process with herself? Because, I mean, the guy doing that might just be an asshole. And so we'll just move on to the next and feed the loop constantly. So it all sounds really well. And I would like for it to be the absolute truth. But it is a workplace environment with a lot of people whose energy that he can feed off, or she can feed off, whoever he or she is that's being a terrible coworker.
Yeah, so there is, of course, there is a multitude of other options, like depending on what kind of organization you're working at, depending what kind of leader do you have. If you have a really great leader that you could turn to and talk about it, that could help taking a conversation with that person. If you have a good human resources department that can help, managing this kind of situations, or ethical line if the person is really out of line, because, what is that feeding of the misery, right? So, of course, when we are talking about many people, of course, there is something that you can do more about it, because going through your own journey so that you can work through yourself, so that you are no longer triggered by that person. Therefore, that person has nothing to feed off you and leaves you alone in peace. That's one thing. But of course, another thing is resolving that conflict using management, leadership, human resources, your own skills. If you have yourself, great. But to face this kind of person and have this conversation, you have to have amazing communication skills. To be able to do it in a way that it can actually change something instead of trigger that person even more. Yes, I agree, because that person will then leave you and then move on to feed off another person.
Yeah, that is exactly what I was thinking. Thank you, Dennis. That, it's way more complicated, because I think that when you have the dynamic one-on-one, those kind of exercise, they can be life changer, game changer. You can really distance yourself and do all this inner work. But if you have a group of people, you have so many more interactions, right? So, and from what the description tells, it looks like the person is not picking up on Lily precisely. It's that she is being an asshole all over the place.
Well, she wrote both.
Yes.
She wrote both.
So basically then, I can resolve it internally, and then the woman have no access to me emotionally. But there are other people left. And, and then there are actually, because I was thinking, I think I'm very straightforward country today, because I even wear country. I was like, put that bitch down. It's like, what the fuck? I'm sorry for this language, and I know that this is not Mahatma Gandhi speaking out of me. It's the country girl speaking out of me. But what really, and we will talk about mirroring, what really drives my nuts is that when there is someone who is spoiling an atmosphere in a group and actually hurting others, because I'm quite good at disconnecting myself from these situations. I wouldn't say I am that evolved to resolve this conflict internally, but I would probably just shut myself down to her. But what really drives my nuts is when a person like this in a group is preying on other people and I am witnessing this, because then my little, let's call it country and Western girl is waking up and I really want to stop it so others are not being harmed. So I think that this is, I would actually love a follow-up, I would love Lily to write to us or contact us, how this worked for her and what happened in the group dynamic, because I also think that there is a ripple effect sometimes when one person resolves it like this, and maybe Lily doesn't even have to share how she did it, but then her energy or her new mindset can somehow even subconsciously influence people in the group, and people can automatically also distance themselves and do it, because in the end of the day, if you don't react in a way that this person wants, you are not giving her power over yourself anymore. Basically, if someone wants to piss you off and you are like a freaking stone, there is no power. You have no access to me, It's like, get off. And I really wonder if the ripple effect would actually be here. But, we know only that much. I would love a follow-up on this one.
I would love a follow-up on this one as well. So hopefully we will hear from Lily. And we can take it up because, of course, it's a complex problem. Something like that we would have been solving for 1 hour in the past. Right now, we are just skimming through those steps.
Yeah.
However, it is possible for yourself to do it as an internal job. That's one thing, because not everyone is confrontational. Not everyone is ready to go out there, fight for it, involve other people. That's not a solution for everyone. There are people for whom it's a solution, and then it's possible to do it. Very often when you confront this kind of person in a conflicting way in front of other people, this will play out even worse, because it will make that person feeling even worse about herself when it will be done in other people. So she'll be more prone to find yet another victim, So you have to be really smart about how you approach this kind of situations. They are not easy to resolve unless you have really great leaders who really know how to approach this kind of situation. However, we are very much now needing to move to the next part of our show.
Say what? Boo, 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 boo. It's bullshit of the week.
Yep.
Yes. So luckily, I took that part already quite a lot in the challenge. So we will not have to spend a long time here, because the bullshit that I brought is that if someone is really annoying and they are not open to a dialogue, there is nothing you can do to change it. So if you meet that kind of person like we've had in a challenge that is really, really triggering you up, and that person is not open to any dialogue, any resolution about it, they are just shut off, there is nothing you can do about it.
Well, I have at least 5 ideas, only based on Game of Thrones, what to do with a person like this.
So guys, bullshit or truth?
Bullshit. Of course, aside of the obvious joke I just given to you that of course, someone doesn't want to communicate, you will do other things to make them communicate or basically to change their behavior. Because of course we could go like, you can go to manager, to HR in that specific Lily's challenge and basically try to get the person, somehow reprimanded or whatsoever. But there is definitely, I believe that you can resolve those conflicts internally. I agree with you, Marta. And they somehow, when you resolve it internally, they are resolving externally. So even if the person doesn't want to communicate with you, you can do some things. And I read about it, and we discussed even about this back in the past, that somehow you can resolve something internally, and that person actually changes. I don't know. I know we don't have time. Maybe we'll have time for it. on a different show. Maybe we'll make a special out of it. But it's a technique that involves a lot of inner work, but also like trying to put yourself in the other person's shoes and somehow. No, it will be too much out there. I will not. But do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean exactly. And I also in the past thought it's like a lot of inner work and so on until I have learned a tool that helps to do it in 1 hour. You can actually do it in 1 hour. I have tried it first for myself. I have asked a coach to do it for me and resolved a conflict or the complete misunderstanding and the trigger I had towards someone else. And really in one session, really in one session. Of course, I cannot say with 100% certainty that you can always do it in just one session. But so far with all the clients I have tried to do it with, for everyone, one session was enough. They were able to resolve these kind of conflicts and really see the change of a behavior in a person after one session. So there are some techniques that can really speed up that inner work also.
Okay, do they include witchcraft, flying on a broom
Nope.
in the moonlight? No?
Nope.
Some
Nope.
kind of suspicious mushrooms or teas that are illegal in several countries?
Well, if you are very curious, you are very welcome to sign up for a session with me and I can demonstrate it on you. And that's the same for all our listeners. If you have anyone really annoying in your life and you don't want to be annoyed anymore and you are not ready to face that person, you want to resolve it internally, get in contact with Marta at reachfarmore.com. That's where you can find me. You can also, of course, find me through the 5 options. I'm also available through there. However, right now, I would like us to move on to the next section.
A super wise wisdom of the week. Wisdom.
Yes. Yes, Marta is coming back.
Yes, the yes girl. Yeah.
So for the wisdom, I'm bringing a sentence
Wow.
as the first thing.
Yeah. As
You
the first thing.
As the first thing, yes.
So it's a
you
two-course
can
dish.
learn a lot about yourself from the people that annoy you and get free through your own inner work. So that's kind of like the flip coin to a large degree to the bullshit that we have already had. And that's something that is sometimes called mirroring, spiritual mirroring. I have met that concept with the first coach that I was working with. And I found it very, very interesting. I really like this concept. Then I found it on this more like spiritual level. And I think this can sometimes be, depending on if you are a very spiritual person or not that much, it can be a little bit discouraging when you hear the spiritual word. Not everyone likes that word that much. So let's break it down a little bit. I have a little bit of a quote, which I think can be helpful here. So I found it at a blog that is called Growth of a Lotus Flower. So that comes from growthofalotusflower.com. When we want to look at ourselves, we have to use a mirror to gain a reflection of self in order to see our outer image, from a perspective we wouldn't be able to see if a mirror wasn't available to us. Sometimes when we look in the mirror, we critique our appearance because our reflection offers us the opportunity to change what we see, if we deem that necessary. But how can we view ourselves beyond a physical level? How can we see inside ourselves? What mirror reflects the part of us that highlights on our triggers, reactions, our patterns, our yearnings, our unhealed wounds, or our unconscious thoughts, or our deepest beliefs, so we are more aware of what needs to be changed within ourselves? So I liked it a lot because it brings that relevant analogy to our physical appearance and the mirror. And I would like to bring another quote, this time from www.learningreligions.com, which says, "People whose personalities and actions tend to push our buttons the most are generally our greatest teachers. These individuals serve us as our mirrors and teach us what needs to be revealed about ourselves. Seeing what we don't like in others helps us look deeper inside ourselves for similar traits and challenges that need healing, balancing, or changing." And I love this approach. Since I have met this kind of approach, I have not yet found a person that was annoying, that was triggering me up, that I disliked something about, that I could not find an internal trigger.
Okay.
Every time when I allowed some time, because it's not always obvious, every time I allow some time, some inner work, I always find out an unresolved issue within myself. And I find it as the greatest possibility for growth. I have not had any other personal growth so deep like I have had with looking every time someone annoys me, I don't like something about someone, and try to find what it is within me that needs to be resolved, resolving it and moving on. Now I'm curious of your perspectives. Dennis, what do you think about it?
I would love it to be true, but sometimes I just find people annoying, and because what they're doing is careless and thoughtless. And it's not because I don't think there's an issue inside me when I'm annoyed that people leave food on the table so I have to clean it up in order to prepare my own food. That's just super annoying.
Okay, I already see it, but that's okay. Anna?
Well, if Marta would pick your brain, then definitely she would find what is that you are mirroring. We had this discussion, my dear. We did. And as I believe that most of things that annoy us in other people are actually mirroring something in us. I do believe in that, but I don't believe that this is 100% all the cases. I sometimes believe that people are assholes. I know this is the shortest one. I would say however, I will agree 100% with something. And if I am today a country girl, imagine I took some magic mushrooms or I'm sitting on a lotus right now, because I will say something kind of out there, which I believe it's totally true. In a book that I actually gave you, Marta, for your birthday, which is Moonology, an author, Jasmine Bolland, wrote something like this. Whoever you meet on your road and is annoying you or upsets you, it's your teacher. It may not be the mirror, but is a teacher nevertheless. So that guy that broke your heart is a teacher. That annoying classmate is a teacher. I don't know, a co-worker is a teacher. So not necessarily a mirror, but a teacher. Someone who is supposed to teach you something. And she claims that we make contracts before we come here of the lessons that we want to learn in this lifetime. Of course, this will be controversial for those of you who are, for instance, Catholics and believe in one life, heaven, hell, and, this kind of setup. There are some people who believe that we are reincarnating, or just we are continuously on this life journey. We're coming back to learn more things. And if you're one of that persons, then I would say it makes a lot of sense. If I'm coming, I actually like the computer game approach. I'm starting as a default player. I have, 100,000 players to choose from. I'm choosing this one with specific lessons, with specific skills, and I'm going to play the game hoping to win or learn something from it. And everyone I meet is somehow scheduled in my life to be encountered, so I can have a lesson from that encounter. So I in that I believe 100%. Is my answer satisfying you, Marta?
It's very much satisfying me, and I wanted to give a remark that the fact that someone is mirroring something inside of us or is teaching us something doesn't mean that we need to keep those people in our lives. Because if those people are really annoying and are really bringing our energy down, we don't need to be friends with them. We don't need to keep them in our lives whatsoever. It is just interesting to have an approach when something like that happens, to simply reflect on yourself and see if there is something that I can learn from this situation. Is there something unhealed inside of me? Is there something that I have been missing in my life? Is there something that I have had too much in my life? So it's just a simple possibility. I believe it's a great gift that you can look into yourself, but you don't need to stay friends with those people.
Totally
you can
agree.
Talk to those people.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
And you can set your boundaries still. Like if you have someone that is not cleaning and
and then sometimes some people are just assholes and you don't need them in your life.
Yeah. There are those theories that say that when you have done your inner work, you will not even find them as assholes. They will not have any
impact on you.
Yeah. So that's an interesting theory. And I just want to say that these kind of theories, what I love about them is that they give you a new perspective. They trigger you in this positive way for finding new ways of looking at things.
Yeah.
I don't believe that any theory is 100% and always true. It's about, it serves some sort of a gift that you can use or not use. You are free. You have a free will choice. And then you can do something about it.
Yeah, and I completely agree with what you, Marta, said. This does not mean that you have to have assholes in your life because those are your teachers. It is okay to say no to that shit boyfriend you have for 5 years or that awful girlfriend or whatever. This is not an excuse for all of you to, that's my teacher, so I will continue. No. That's your teacher. Take your lessons, leave the relationship and move on. I found that to be extremely valuable in my life.
Yeah, well, you always have to see your own individual situation, because it could be that you resolve, like we've talked about it, it could be that you resolve something inside of you and that person changes automatically. I have seen amazing situations like that, amazing situations. Like an example of one of the clients I was working with had a very bad relationship with her parent. They had no relationship. They were not talking to each other at all. And she resolved her internal issues and the parent has called her the next day. 15 years not calling, ignoring, not having that relationship. So sometimes it's really amazing how people can change automatically because there is some sort of energy shift. So always, look at your situation individually, but definitely it's perfectly fine to leave a relationship, to leave a situation and so on. I'm just thinking how you do it when it's your children that are your greatest teachers.
And that's a topic for another
Sometimes
episode.
children are assholes.
Yeah,
you can't leave them that easily if you're their parent.
Yeah, as we remember, Marta was, giving orders to a dog to kill a chicken. I don't know, a duck. I don't know, Marta, how easy it would be to raise you.
It gives me a new perspective on what my children are teaching me now, and that there might be some karma in here. Okay,
Oopsie.
Let's go for the left field. G.
From the left field.
Okay, so we've had quite a lot of deeply annoying things and quite strong triggers. Now let's lighten up the mood a little bit. And now let's talk about the 10 most annoying things in life. Apparently that there is a website that is called thetop10s.com.
Oh, yes. There is a channel on YouTube that is called Top 10s.
Yes. So I haven't found the YouTube channel. I have found the website. And since we are talking about annoying stuff, I thought that we can find what are the top 10 most annoying things in life. And I want to find I would like you to comment on each of them.
Okay.
And say if you agree that they are so annoying. So number one is, the top number one most annoying thing in life is mosquitoes.
The tiny Swedish, I don't know what they're called in English, knots that can crawl through the mosquito nets. Those I hate more.
Ooh la la. I find all insects that are flying around annoying. So, but I would say mosquitoes, yes. Mosquitoes, yes, but flies also, when they want to sit on you all the time. And you said to that fly 1,000,000 times, go away, and the flies keep on coming back. And then you question your personal hygiene. That is annoying.
Yes, it is. Okay, number 2. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
People who smoke around you.
Are annoying?
Yes, that's the second most annoying thing in the
People
world.
who smoke around you. I don't find this problematic for me as a smoker.
Depends on the situation.
Yeah.
Okay, so here in the studio, I also used to smoke, and majority of my friends have been smokers. I'm so used to it, so I don't find it so annoying.
I will strike something back. What I find annoying is everyone coming to you and telling you, you should quit smoking. That's annoying.
Okay.
That's
Thank
annoying.
Thank you for that input. You should send it to thetop10s.com.
Because no one comes to you and say you should stop eating pizza or, putting so much sugar in you. No one says that.
Yeah,
but
they do.
They do?
Yeah, there are websites about exactly that.
Times are changing.
Okay.
Pizza eaters, you are now together in one boat with the smokers.
Pizza eaters? They that has so much sugar?
No, not pizza
there's
eaters per se, but
carbohydrates.
yeah, people who are overweight.
Okay.
They, like smokers, must endure being told that you should eat less. You shouldn't
Yeah,
take that
definitely.
cake.
We all enjoy that when we are already doing something.
But you would not come to a person, and say that in their face yet, but you would come to a smoker who is not smoking around you. I had this situation since forever, like I am somewhere with some people and I'm not smoking, we are in a building. By the way, why do you smoke? You should quit. You know how unhealthy it is. It's not like I'm standing and blowing smoke in their nose. It's just that kind of like, I can tell you because that's accepted that I can tell you.
Overweight people hear that too.
Really?
Yes.
That's
Okay, I have a suggestion. Send it to thetop10s.com.
You should exercise more. You should.
Number 3.
Yep.
People who walk really slow in front of you.
Oh Jesus, those are the worst.
I hate them.
Yeah, we agree.
Okay. Number 4, and that's interesting. I found it hilarious. I was laughing a lot. Justin Bieber. 10 most annoying things in life. And there is a name. How mean is that?
That's mean. That's mean.
I think I have a filter. He does nothing for me.
Yeah, so you have resolved. You have resolved
Yeah,
your inner conflict.
I
with
really
Justin.
do not care about him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 5 is much more serious.
Yeah.
Bullies.
I think they are not only annoying, they are pissing me off badly.
Yeah,
That actually makes me angry, not annoyed, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one is even more heavy gun.
Oh, Jesus.
Terrorists.
I would say that's so annoying. And not because terrorists are cool, but because the word is used now so freely describing everything and is weaponized to create fear. And media are using this word for everything that I actually find it. I find the usage of a word terrorist annoying. Oh.
I agree.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
they shouldn't be on a list of annoying things because
Yeah.
they're like
Too heavy.
war,
gun. Yeah.
annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Yes. Okay. The next one maybe fits more. Screaming babies.
In trains, on planes, I fucking hate them.
I am sorry, Dennis, up front, if we will ever travel in one plane. I don't find it annoying, and I think I find it heartbreaking. And I think it's because I became a mother first time when I was very young. And I realized that babies just cry, and sometimes there is nothing you can do. So after my daughter stopped crying, when I look at the mothers or fathers with screaming babies, I feel compassion. I'm not annoyed.
Okay, so heavy empathy here turned on. Number 8, that one I must say, that's and I'm wondering what is it mirroring in me? Slow internet connection.
Annoying.
Thing of the past.
Yep.
Yes. Number 9, rap.
Rap music?
That's not annoying.
Yeah.
Not for me either. And the last one, advertisements.
Go
Most
to hell.
of yes.
Go to hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say annoying.
Thank you, guys.
Is that all?
Bye-bye.